Welcome to Vidyamitra Talk, a podcast where we bring real conversation with people who have built meaningful careers, business, and impact. The whole purpose of this podcast series is to help students, working professionals, and more importantly, aspiring entrepreneurs to gain clarity, confidence, and direction from people who have mastered in this journey. It helps to go beyond the textbooks and curriculum. Today we have got a guest who is a dynamic educator, an innovator, and a stock market professional with rich and diverse career spanning technology, academia, finance, and entrepreneurship. He created a strong foundation in teaching, research, and mentoring young minds. He also had been part of Microsoft and contributed a lot to that organization too. Right now, he is running his own trading academy, that is VS Pro Trading Academy, and his entrepreneurial excellence has won the award, that is Innovative Startup of the Year award from the government of Karnataka. In fact, the governor of Karnataka has given the award in June 2025. Apart from this, his clienteles include a huge era, but from the academic space, he offers institutional support where he has helped in incubating startups at NIE Mysore, MIT Mysore, JSS Bangalore, and a lot more. He also contributes to the academic community by serving on the editorial board of International Journal of Scientific and Engineering Research. Ladies and gentlemen, very privileged to welcome Mr. Vijay, a pro trader running a pro academy and a pro speaker, to our Vidyamitra podcast series. Hi Vijay.
Hello, sir. I am very glad to be here because I've been watching Vidyamitra and many successful entrepreneurs talking over there, and many useful information was being given to the young buddies. So I'm very glad to be a part of this.
So sweet of you. I could read from the profile that you have shifted or pivoted careers, and which is a modern version where you call Gen Zs are doing like this. But I'm sure being a mathematician, you would have something in your mind that have taken this journey. So can you give us some insight on that?
Yeah. Basically, being an engineering graduate in 2003, I started my career with Microsoft, where I was in the anti-hacking department, and there I was awarded twice from Microsoft for exposing the loopholes of Windows security.
Wow.
And it was on a contract basis for 1.5 years. So once it is done, I was hired by Wipro for their Mission 10X program. It was a project-oriented hiring, what they have done.
Right.
So there, the main objective was to increase the employability of the engineering graduates by 10 times,
Oh.
because most of them would have cleared that 60% mark, which is required for the campus interviews. But later, when they see the IQ or the attitude or XYZ parameters, they were not that happy. So they thought, let us improve on these parameters and
Right.
let us increase employability by 10 times. So there I was training the teachers of engineering colleges in Mission 10X program. And that has given a wonderful insight, of course. And that was, I was awarded as a chief trainer and the best trainer in that Mission 10X program.
Oh.
So that's all went well way back. And once that project got over, I was so influenced by that. I thought, why can't I train students in that pattern? So there were my assistant professor journey has been started, and I served Atria College of Engineering. I served APS College of Engineering, where I did my engineering, of course. And my last and the biggest assignment was in KSIT, KS Institute of Technology, where I served for 5 years,
Oh.
from 2010 to 2015 as an assistant professor. As you were mentioning, the incubations in NIE, JSS, and MIT colleges. Now, yesterday we got incubated even in KSIT. So this is the fourth college which has been added as the incubation center, and that's glad to be shared. So that's how it all started. And then I shifted my profession to stock market. When I was in KSIT itself, I met a person who said, when we were discussing on an unofficial note, maybe on a chai pay kind of thing, he said, stock market is gambling kind of thing. And being a
Oh,
mathematician, I was not ready to accept because the market cap is
definitely.
fixed for any stock, so it cannot be gambling. Something missing is there, and I heard this from many of the people, not only by one person, from many. But still, my inner consciousness was not allowing me to accept this because I was purely on mathematical model,
Mm.
whatever I used to analyze. And as long as the market cap is fixed for any stock, it cannot be a gambling. There should be some relations or some equations which is working out inside. So that curiosity has provoked me to enter into the world of stock market. Yes, of course, in the initial 1 or 2 years, I encountered few losses. It was a tough time. In the initial 1 or 2 years, it was really tough. But later I picked it up, and maybe the God's grace and elders' wishes, yeah, I continued my journey in that. And in 2015, I thought I need to completely shift my career from being an academician to a stock market analyst. And for whatever it is, there should be a measure to say whether he's authorized to train, whether he's authorized to give advice, something like that. So then I thought the biggest authorization level is the SEBI certification,
Ah,
because in India it's only 0.01%, because
oh,
there are 20 crore plus of traders, and SEBI certified, which we call it as NISM certificate 8, which is on equity and derivative market, is only on 26,000.
oh,
20 crores to 26,000 is 0.01%. So initially I failed in 2013, but in 2015 I got cleared it at, and as you know, it's every 3 years we have to renew that. And since 2015, I am SEBI certified, giving exam every 3 years, updating my skills in market in every 3 years, and proving it on a higher note. So that has made me a SEBI professional over here, and that has attracted me to this world of stock market.
wow. Interesting. I mean, I truly respect your continuous learning mindset and the curiosity to understand different patterns, because I'm sure being a mathematician, that is there in your blood, but you apply your skills. That is the most important quality which we are all looking forward and the world is looking forward to.
Okay, thank you.
Very beautiful. Out of curiosity, you have been given the Innovative Entrepreneur of the Year award directly from the Governor of Karnataka. So, how did you feel at that moment? And what is the journey that excited you to get that award of innovation?
Yeah. See, basically, we started the training division in July 22nd, 2024. Maybe
Okay.
around just 1.5 years back, we started this training division. Trading was there from past 15 years, but training division started in 2024.
Hmm.
And when we started our training session, we had a clear-cut agenda that whoever trains in our institute must be a certified professional. So
Oh.
that was one of the basic building block what we have meant. And we kept our training standards so high that within 6 months we got certified from ISO 21001, which is for educational sector. And being a stock market institute, getting an ISO certificate is something different. And we tried more than around 2,000 professionals giving financial literacy. When we say trading, it's not just trading what we teach them. We teach them complete financial literacy, financial planning, what exactly has to be done. It might include insurance, it might include mutual funds, it might include stock market trading, majorly stock market trading, of course. But all the parameters were included in that. And within a year, we could deliver that or create that financial literacy to more than 2,000 students. And more importantly, we associated with an institute called as FinTech,
Oh.
wherein at pan India level, we used to train the teachers of the schools and colleges, so
Oh.
that they can impart this financial literacy to the students about savings and other things. Not exactly about trading, it was about savings. So how important is saving and what has to be done, all those things. So that was a unique thing because no till then there was no pan India level teachers workshop on financial modeling. That too to impart it to the students, and I was a chief trainer over there as well. So this has given me some very good motivations in that. And of course, as you all know, that 2019-20, the COVID has
Hmm.
blown up every business, and of course, I was not an exception in that. So even my business went to a huge, you can call it as a Mariana Trench. It was
Oh.
something like that, which has
Hmm.
gone. So it was a time of survival, and rather than I thought it is a time of survival, but God has different plans. He wanted to make me even more stronger. So I explored the area of insurance, being a unit manager in SBI Life,
Hmm.
and then I was a business manager in Bajaj Group. So this has given me even more strength when handling a team of more than 20 to 50 members over there at different levels. So that has given me one more kind of experience, and I continue my stock market profession even now. So that's
Beautiful.
how it's going.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think that's a great point, which everybody loves to hear, that challenges are there, but take it as an opportunity. And that's the right mindset. And
Yeah.
you also mentioned about you're a
Yes.
trustee. So can you throw some light on what the trust does and what is the target thought?
Yeah. When we started our training division in way back in 2024, it was VS stands for Vijay and Suma, who are the partners of the institute,
Okay.
which is an LLP, of course. Then we thought it's not only the education, but because she is from a background of parallel medicine like acupressure, color therapy, seed therapy, Reiki healing, pendulum dosing, all these kind of things, and which has helped me also to overcome, some of the objections, whatever I had mentally and uh, business, whatever, all those things. So I got fascinated even about that. So we thought, why can't we run both the things together? Let's take one by one, maybe, but we'll need a trust to impart knowledge on an official note, on an academic basis. So that's how we started VS Educare Foundation, which is education and healthcare, where it supports both education through VS Pro Trading Academy and healing through Samruddhi Holistic Healing Kendra, which is a part of VS Educare Foundation.
Oh,
So there we give most of the times it's on a charity basis what we provide in healing for for the diseases and other things. But of course, it's also a commercial one. It's not purely charitable. That's how it's been going.
lovely, lovely, lovely. And I could also hear from your profile and the details that you help people if they have got good ideas or good thoughts. You even help them to, as you said, the word incubate, to move them on the launch pad. So, can you give some insights about a few incubation centers you started and how it's going?
Yeah. See, when I was shifted from assistant professor to an entrepreneur in 2015 on a complete mode,
Right.
then I have faced a few challenges as well. It was not any cakewalk at that point of time. All of a sudden, because I came out from my job with just
Right.
1 month salary in hand,
Oh,
and we're starting an entrepreneurship journey, which is, just like a roller coaster kind of things, even for the biggest professionals. And me being a small fish at that time, it was, very difficult, and was supposed to face many challenges. So I thought, once when I'm successful, I need to help students or the beginners,
wow.
buddies who wants to become an entrepreneur. See, in India, that is a major thing. Everybody looks at security, comfort, and that's the reason why the entrepreneurship is not getting attracted
Right.
initially. But of course, nowadays it is different. Students have got that awareness about bring out their own startups, but they hesitate because of funding. That's the main thing which they come across. They think there is a need of huge investment to start something of their own, but that's actually not right, because most of the service-oriented industries can be started just like that. So we
Hmm.
train students on how to run a startup, and if we find that ideas are useful, we said we will fund you the startup, and of course we take a small stake in that, maybe around 20-30% stake we to take in that, but we take complete responsibility of funding it, guiding, mentoring, bringing that startup up for the next 2 to 5 years time
Wow.
bound, and that's how we can make them successful.
Absolutely.
And then it is up to them whether to continue with us or not. We are just as a stepping stone. You
Right.
use it for 5 years. We will be there initially for the 5 years, maybe with a small stake. But our major objective is to make you successfully stand on the your startups. And after 5 years, it's again their call. That's
Wow.
how it goes.
Lovely. I
And
think,
that's what we are doing in both NI college, JSS, and even in KSIT college.
oh, very nice. Giving back to the larger community is a great mantra which you have adopted. Plus, whatever challenges you have faced, if you are telling at least don't do these mistakes, that is itself is a great lesson.
Yes. That I learned from Thomas Alva Edison, who invented bulb, because he
Ah,
wanted to find out which metal he has to use for that bulb inside, and 250 times he failed. 251 time he found out it was tungsten. So
mm,
when somebody asked him, he said, "I didn't waste it by selecting wrong metals in 250 times. I know 250 metals which I should not use."
wow.
So I got that knowledge. So that's
Beautiful.
what we are reporting. Whatever the challenges I have faced personally, There was time when I was supposed to into total depression because of the highs and lows of all these things. I don't want others to face up the same, so I stand on their behalf.
Wow, great. And just as a beginner, especially, when, people are qualified and people have the right skill, salary is not a constraint for a general person. Not everybody will get into entrepreneurship, but however, 90% of whether it's a salary class, whether it's an entrepreneur, they miss on savings or financial planning. So, as a pro SEBI certified advisor, what could be that baby steps a beginner has to focus on the word portfolio or at least saving mindset?
See, one simple technique what we say is 60-20-20 rule.
Uh,
Because when they are started earning in the very initial stages, they will not be having too much of responsibilities as such. So what we usually suggest is 60% of your income, you use it for yourself, no doubt about it. 20% you save for emergencies which are uncertain in nature, and 20% you start investing for that to grow. So over a period of time, even there are some highs and lows, you'll be able to cope up with that, with the emergency fund, the investments, and all these things will be there, and you will have a steady mindset.
mm,
And those who are entering into the stock market specifically, I tell them, don't be under the assumption that you will become crorepati overnight. That can never happen because that's the assumption what most of the people have. I don't know why it has came into the market, but people have that assumption.
yeah.
Fear and greed are the only two things which can spoil the business. So
Okay.
I say, come out of that. If you are getting a very good, decent returns from the market, thanks for that,
Okay.
and continue with that discipline. That's why in a book which we authored on stock market, even there I say a quote: "Knowledge gives you entry, but discipline gives you profit."
Wow.
So that's the agenda what we stick on in our VS Pro while we trade, while we do training, and all those places.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you mentioned about, the beginner investment or somebody is looking forward to the stock market because in YouTube and different social medias, there are enough and more promotions which is telling invest this rupees, you are going to become crorepati in 5 years, 10 years. So I truly respect that you gave a very blunt but very honest feedback that discipline is more important. But I don't know what all things are there in the stock market. So, what is that first step in stock market if I want to choose? 60-20-20? Yes, I got it.
Yes. So that's for savings and other things. But when
Right.
they enter into the stock market, the very first free and a golden advice, usually whichever which comes at free of cost, people will not value
Appreciate.
that. That's what we usually say in the entrepreneurship model. But still, I keep on giving this golden tip for the beginners. If you want to enter into the stock market, first start with Nifty Bs, an
Oh,
ETF.
okay.
The only reason being Nifty is an average of 50 top companies in the country.
Okay.
So if I arrange them like 1 to 50 based on their performance, one is the most performing and 58th is the 58th top company in the country. The beauty of Nifty 50 is those 50 companies are not stagnant. Like if
Right.
any of the company is not performing well, it will go out of Nifty 50 and a new performing company will enter into the Nifty 50. So if you
Mm,
have invested in Nifty, you are always along with the top 50 companies in India. And when India is going towards the third biggest economy in the world, and you are with the top 50 companies in India, what else can struck you? People will forget that basic things.
mm,
I always give this example. When you are playing cricket with your teammates, usually any team can win. That will be the probability 50-50. But just imagine in one team, one Sachin Tendulkar, one Kohli, and one Bumrah gets added. What will be the weightage of that? You can easily predict what will be the result. So that's what happens even in stock market. You be with the best, you become the best.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think last couple of days, just before the budget session and post budget session, there was a discussion in CNBC where they are also talking about people somewhat thought that mid caps is going to outperform, but finally large cap seems to have strong foundation and there is a tendency of people getting into large caps. So, as a pro certified person, what is your opinion on that?
I firmly believe on the mid caps because
Okay.
of two reasons.
Uh,
The first thing is that, see, in stock market, we say there are three
oh.
rowdies in stock market. One is the FII, second one is DII, third one is the retailers. So
Oh.
usually the majority of the market movements will happen based on the FI and DI activities. And in India, FIs are major sellers. That is a concern. If they turn into buyers, nobody can stop the wind in Nifty 50 or Sensex, whatever it is.
Right.
But unfortunately, in India, it's a custom. See, in 1 month, they sell more than 1.5 lakh crores of stocks in Indian market. So that has been continuous. And the best thing is when for the analysis, most of the FIIs work only on the large caps
Okay.
because of the volume.
Right.
So sometimes large caps may tend to reverse the direction because of these FII and AIs, which can abruptly spoil the retailers. But when they are with the mid cap, that's a different story altogether. Mid caps are more aligned with technical analysis rather than the large stack.
Acha.
So that's the reason I say large caps, yes, they are good. I don't say they are not good. They are the best, of course, in the India market. But to be a beginner, not to lose money, to get a
Mm,
consistent growth, to get
mm.
idea into this stock market, to become the pro in the market, follow mid caps.
Beautiful. I think that logic is very solid because sudden, the movement of complete selling, the large caps can be the victim, or probably they might be the
Yes,
biggest hit. And as a person who might not have the liquidity to, because as per the market theory, it says when it is low, it is a good time to buy, or when it is hitting that
yes,
rock bottom. But as a beginner, I won't have that liquidity. So I'll say, Ayo, my paisa also gone. Let me quit and run.
yes. That's the reason always to be best to be with the mid caps. At least with 60-40 rule. 60 you be with the mid cap. That will safeguard your principal. 40 if you are too confident on large caps, you can of course.
Beautiful. And I know it's a professional advice, but I am asking on a very open statement.
Yeah.
According to you, 2026, which all sectors could dominate?
See, basically, when we say about 2026, one is the energy sector, which is going to make some difference, maybe
Oh.
because of this EV kind of vehicles which are coming up and which
Mm,
are getting, wide acceptance overall. That is one thing. And apart from that, pharmacy is always evergreen, whether it is
oh.
2026 or 2086 or 2286. No difference, but pharma sector is one sector which is always consistently performing. So
Oh.
pharma is a very good sector where people will not lose money at least. They will get a consistent growth in pharma sector. And all other sectors, including the IT, they are having highs and lows, movements will be there. And there are, because of this AI
Mm,
interference, many of the IT companies also getting hit by that. So all these things will be there. One other sector, what they call it as this infrastructure.
mm,
Infrastructure is usually it will be having the steady growth kind of thing. It's not into abrupt changes. But most importantly, I focus on energy sector and pharma sector. Pharma is evergreen, energy is booming up, and AI related companies which are good in fundamentals will blossom up. So keep that strategy.
wow. I think that's a very solid piece of advice because you gave a very clear instruction as to how to plan your savings. Then you also put across that at least the golden rules you please be taking care is discipline. Then you came with three recommendations or three probable, the sector specific information with a hint on fundamentals. So that's completely a beautiful pitch. And last, many housewife, they think that they are not able to do, or stock market needs a lot of tough analysis. So I will not get into this space. If paisa goes, my husband will shout, or mother-in-law. There is a thought process. So as a pro trader, having an academy on the objective of financial inclusion as well as financial literacy, what could be your final thoughts to housewife where they are afraid?
Yeah. See, to many of my friends, when they ask me where to invest conservatively so that I'll not lose money, all
Hmm.
those things, which includes a major portion of the housewives, as you said, I give one suggestion upfront. That is, say, if you get amount at night 12 o'clock and you call me where to invest, and if I'm not able to receive the call, invest in Nifty Base and forget. So even for the housewives, I give the same advice because their savings itself will be in a small quantity. Nifty Biz you can buy even for 300 rupees,
Acha,
and you cannot expect to start with the stock market in a much cheaper price.
correct.
So 300 rupees for a well settled script like Nifty 50, which is always on the growth side. to know that if you see the charts of the stocks, you can always find highs and lows happening here and there. Since the inception, if you take the chart, highs and lows are part of the stocks. But
Right.
you observe Nifty 50 ETF, that is Nifty Beast, what I call it as especially Nippon ETF. Nowadays, there are many ETFs as well. So we stick
Right.
on to the good old Nippon Nifty ETF. If you see the chart of that, since inception, it's a 45-degree line.
Oh,
Since inception, when it is from inception a 45-degree line, what else you can think of?
right.
People forget these fundamental things and small things. They think it is small and they are gone.
Oh, you. And it is, as you rightly put it across, if I have 300 rupees, I can invest, and next time if I get
Yes,
some money, again.
yes.
So it's not
You can invest at any
mandatory.
point of time.
Oh, acha.
Yes.
And is there any lock-in, or can you give some insight on that?
See, lock-in comes only in mutual fund of things. Where the company wants to make money out of your money, so they may make all those barriers of lock-ins and other things.
Right.
But we are talking about direct equity, where a
Direct.
person has money today and he is investing today. So there is no lock-in at all. Whenever you have money, you just please invest. Whenever you want money, you please take it out. And whenever it is giving saturation, please take it out. Don't wait.
Right.
So all these things are always there.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, move on. We are getting on to the last portion, but with another curiosity, because last 4 or 5 days, the commodities, especially gold, seems to be giving red signals always. So, as a SEBI certified investor and running the academy for a long tenure, what is your feedback, or what is your hunch on yellow metal?
Yeah. See, this yellow myth, what we call it as, is a very crucial thing. It is there probably to mislead people most of the times. I tell you why. People have a tendency of thinking that if I invest in gold, it will always be increasing. I tell you one thing. Gold is an investment, but not in India. That's my favorite statement.
Okay.
Gold is an investment, but not in India. Why? Because in India, people will not buy 24 karat gold in form of coins or biscuits. They buy in form of ornaments
Right.
when they want to invest in gold, which is already a huge premium regarding their labor charges, making
Absolutely.
charges, and some copper mixing will be there. Even for that, we are paying the gold price, all those things. And when you are selling, again, they will remove that copper content value,
Ah,
and again, some wastage and other things they will call it as. And most importantly, apart from all these things, also, most importantly, say for example, I'm asking you if your gold is low today and you are buying a beautiful chain for your wife, investing around 2-3 lakh rupees. And next year it has increased to 6 lakh rupees. Are you dare enough to ask your wife that I will sell off this chain just because the gold value has been increased?
right.
That will never happen in India. In India, gold is only for the show off.
Oh,
Majority, I'm talking
right.
about.
No, no, I
There are
agree.
some investors as well, but majority is for the show off. So in India, it's not an investment, but technically speaking, this commodity and equity are always like sun and the moon. When one is there, the other will not be there. So equity, we know India is going to be the third biggest economy in the world. So equity will be on its growth path. Whenever equity finds a low, whenever equity finds a dip, at that time the commodities will rise.
Okay.
Other than it cannot rise because they are stored in the opposite direction. So equity always wins. Equity
Right.
always wins in that. So equity will cannot compete with or gold cannot compete with equity kind of things. But yes, whenever there are dips in equity, that yellow metal will actually rise. But apart from that, based on the inflation, it may rise.
Right.
Not just like what it has happened in the recent past.
Mm.
Based on the inflation, it may rise over a period of time. But following equity is more safer
Right.
than following the commodity, especially in the beginning stage.
Beautiful.
Once you become the pro, they know how to play, what to play, when to play, and why to play.
That's really beautiful. This brings up to the end of today's conversation on Vidyamitra Talk. If this episode gives you clarity or perspective, do like, share, and subscribe. And more importantly, let us know which section mentioned by Vijay resonated with you the most. We'll be certainly back with more professionals, and our objective is to move forward with clarity so that you become a best person in your life. And
Thank you.
bye-bye.